Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast and to this very special celebratory Ask Me Anything Q&A episode. So thank you so much for all of you who have sent me questions over. I've got quite a lot to get through. So I've been really looking forward to getting into this. There's a good mixture of some I've read, some I've kind of left as a bit of a surprise. So we'll just see how it goes. But there's training ones in there. There's deep stuff in there. There's productivity stuff in there. So I hope that I can offer some insight and that that you enjoy the episode. So without further ado, should we get into it? I've got this cup of tea. I said that's not a cup, is it? That is a pot of tea, Jason. And what have I got in there? Lemon. I've got lemon tea, lemon, turmeric, and ginger with added lemon because I had some extra lemons left since from when I was ill. Though some of you may know that I had really bad flu the other week. It was awful. Oh, before we start, I'm gonna have to take this jumper off. If you ever wondered, I have to keep in grey because if I'm black, if I'm wearing black, then I merge with the colour of the sofa, and I'm just like a massive sofa. So that's why I'm always wearing charcoal grey, and then same if I do white, then I blend into the wall. So yeah, so I've got to be dull and charcoal constantly. All right, Ruche L says, how does your daily routine differ now from last year? Do you feel better and more productive now? And what changes did you make? If not, what's stopping you from doing the things that benefited you more a year ago? Good question. This is someone who knows my routinized life very well. How's it differ now from last year? It is a lot more stripped back. I have, removed a lot of stuff that I was doing. Trying to focus on this whole essentialist approach, which I've got from the Greg McKeown's book called Essentialism. And I'm really on this, just cutting the fat, trying to focus on what's really moving the needle. Not so long ago, I had all my habits on my phone, and I was also sharing screenshots on my Instagram story to kind of keep me accountable with all these different bits. And it's funny because every time I stop doing habits, and then I feel like I need to get back on that train, I feel like it's always fucking hell, why did I stop doing the habits? The habits are the things, I've always said, there's nothing that you can't achieve by doing habits. Nothing that you can't, nothing is unachievable. So whatever you want to do in life, insert a thing that you want to do, and then what is the daily action that you could do in less than 1 minute every day that would contribute towards that? And you can get a hell of a long way. So I do believe in that, but also it can become this dopamine seeking. Okay, I'll tick off this thing, and then I'll check my email, and then I'll do the dishes, and I'll do this. And Chris Williamson talked about the productivity rain dance, which is I need to do all these things. I need to do my meditation. I still do my meditation at the start of the day, but I need to do all these things before I get the job done, before I go and do the task. And it's like, well, what is the most important thing? What is the goal? If the goal is this other thing over here, then surely it's more important just to focus on that thing and then see like if you can do some of the other stuff. So, so the actual daily routine, how it differs from last year, it's changed a little bit just recently as well because I was ill and I'd done high rocks, so I'm kind of like changing my routine a little bit. But really, the main things are I'm trying to work on like really high leverage. What is the most effective thing to do? So basically, it's get up at 7 o'clock, have a drink of water. I'm doing intermittent fasting at the moment, mainly just because I'm lazy and I'm sick of drinking clear whey protein with greens in the morning. So whether that's optimal or not, I don't know. And then I'm not actually doing a morning workout at the moment, but I'll probably get back to that soon. So that'll be like 10 minutes of something just to get my heart rate up. And then like cold shower, coffee, meditation, maybe a walk. And that's pretty much it. I'm really trying to just cut a lot of the stuff out. So it's not to say that I won't go back to doing all these different habits, because the downside of that is there are certain things, maintenance things that get left if you don't keep on top of them. So a good example would be like just like the habit of like opening my post. I'm terrible at it. Or not losing like an important email that's come in and I need to deal with it. Just little things like that. So that's where the habits come in. They can be much better. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is do like top 5 habits rather than doing like 15 to 20. And so I've done it as this. I called it Essential 5. So I do have all my habits and stuff on there. This is Tick, by the way, not affiliated. Although I did message them asking if I could get a code, but they didn't. But this is a good app, and I've got so I've got all of the ideal habits. Like in an ideal scenario, the perfect day, I'd get through all of them. But the essential 5, just like what are the minimum things I need to hit to have like a pretty successful day. So that's morning 10-minute workout, 3 walks or 10,000 steps, but 3 walks is sufficient. Morning, lunch, night. Spend 10 minutes doing out as many tasks as possible. So having a list of tasks that you need to get done that constantly get added to, and then just spend 10 minutes of the day just like firing through as many as you can. Then you get a lot of shit that like you might just like reply to mum, or I don't know, open that letter, or take the bins out. These are all my stupid stupid habits that I don't get on with. And then you'd be surprised how much you can get done. And then usually you do the 10 minutes and then you want to just carry on doing. You're just like, fuck it, I'll go 20, I'll go 30, whatever, and you'll get lots done. And then the other one is tidy up my kitchen, living room, and do laundry. So they're like, oh, and sorry, this is because. And then there's no phone. No phone use until the priority task is done. That's the biggest one. I feel like we've been a long time on this question. And I'm going to do an episode on habits, so I might have just fucked myself there and given all that away. But the no phone until priority task done is the biggest thing that I've implemented this year. So some of you know about this, and it's been getting me a little bit of stick because I've been not contactable. But the big sort of thing I'm focusing on is stopping wasting time on frivolous activities, and social media, phone is a big part of it. I've been hammering reels this weekend actually though, but I've been enjoying it. It's funny. Like my like addictive phone usage isn't around like doom scrolling, as they say. That doesn't bother me. It's just like checking messages and like bouncing around, and if I had a notification, that's just like generally checking stuff. So, but I've been enjoying reels. So, anyways, start the day. After I've done my meditation and stuff, what is the most important task of the day? What's the one thing that's going to move the needle? And it's usually something that ideally, like, you don't want it to be to take like more than 2 hours. So it could be anywhere from like 1 minute to 2 hours. So it could be just like you've got to phone someone and it's really difficult. They call it like eat the frog. What's the one thing, the thing that scares you the most? Do that. And basically, I don't turn my phone on. The phone that's got a SIM card in it, that's another story. The phone that's got a SIM card in it doesn't get turned on until I've done that task. Absolutely incredible. So I would highly recommend doing that. Some days I won't turn my phone on until 4:30 because I haven't done it. And then some days I'll turn it on at 12 o'clock. And then I'm kind of just like, I've got that monkey off my back and I can kind of crack on. So, yeah, I've kind of gone way into detail there. So how do you do routine differ now from last year? Do you feel better and more productive? What changes you made? I've told you that, yeah. If not, what's stopping you from doing? Yeah, all good. I've pretty much covered that. Thank you. Good question. And then there is another. We've got loads to get through. So Rusher's asked 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, anyone who asks more than one, I'm going to come back through if I've got time. So I will highlight that. And then, okay, David B says, how do you deal with setbacks that feel unsurmountable at the time? Setbacks, unsurmountable setbacks. Yeah, get some perspective, I guess, would be the thing. Like, get away from whatever the thing is, get some space on it, get like a wider view. And that would be done via like going for a walk. So if I had a setback, I'd be like, okay, difficult thing. That needs like some creative thinking around how it's going to be the best way to solve or deal with this. Therefore, I need to get outside, take myself away from the issue, and just kind of let my mind wander, and it will come up with stuff. So go for a walk, take a pen and paper in my pocket, or take my phone without the SIM card in, and just have the like voice recorder thing. Go for a walk, make some notes, come back, get it dealt with. And then, the second one there. So I'm gonna leave that one. Laura E says, best tool for stress relief. Best tool. Are you thinking like, you mean like an app or like an actual like thing, activity? Stress relief. It's kind of similar to the last one. Like a walk is good, but if I feel stressed, so if I feel like frazzled, the gym is good, I guess. But actually, if it's in the middle of my day or something, yoga nidra. Search yoga nidra on YouTube. Ali Boythroyd is one that's very popular. I heard about this first on Andrew Huberman Lab podcast, and it's basically an ancient form of it's essentially like a body scan meditation kind of mindfulness thing that you do lying down, and it's cool because if you fall asleep, it doesn't matter. Most of the time I fall asleep. So yeah, if I was like feeling really overwhelmed, I'd just maybe go to lie down for like 10-15 minutes, pull a blanket over my head if it's in the middle of the day, stick my headphones on, 10-15 minutes, maybe nod off for like 5 minutes, come out of it feeling really good. So yeah, massively recommend that. Good grammar. Is that grammar? Good wording. So yeah, do that. Lindsay G. How do you stay interested during repetitive and or boring tasks? Honestly, at the moment, don't do them. So this ties into what we were saying at the start about I'm trying to like really focus on what really matters. So it's not that I'm not doing them. If there's something that's repetitive and boring, it has to be done. There are like 3 options. See that? It's a 3 I'm holding up. 3 options. One would be just eliminate it and not do it altogether. 2 would be delegate it to a team member, or like if you're a freelancer, like hire someone on Fiverr or Upwork to do it for you. Because if it's boring and repetitive, and you can record yourself doing a Loom video, go to loom.com. You can record free screen share video. This is how I do this thing. It takes me ages. Send that video to someone on a freelancing site and say, can you give me a price to do this task just a couple of times a week or whatever? You can probably get it done for not much at all. Yeah, so I would delegate it. What was the other one? Oh, automate. So I'd probably automate first, actually. So no, automation in the middle. So yeah, I'd find a way to automate the task. And you could use a tool called Zapier, Zapier, and there's some other ones. You could use ChatGPT. How can I automate this task? Give me some steps. Yeah. Good luck with your boring tasks. Right. Kelly M. Are you fucking hell? Are you driven or being dragged? Are you driven or being dragged? I feel like a bit of a mix. So this, for anyone who's kind of not got the context around, like it's like for I guess for doing stuff, podcasts, trying to achieve stuff. Am I driven internally from like a positive thing, or is it being dragged because I've got no choice? Don't think I'm being patronizing there. I'm also kind of talking it out for myself. So I think anyone who wants to achieve things in life probably has like this huge insecurity that they're not good enough. So there's definitely that. And am I driven? I'd say a bit of both, but probably dragged. Because if I don't do the things that I'm trying to do, what does that mean? That means I feel like I'm basically not good enough. No one will love me. No one will love my children, and I'll die a lonely old man. So, crack on with the podcast and lift weights. Good one. Thank you, Kelly. Ben R. If you could only do one exercise per body part for life, what would you pick? Chest, back, shoulders, arms, quads, hamstrings, calves, glutes, core. One exercise per body part. So is this like a bodybuilder thing? I guess. So I'm just going to go with what I would do. Okay, one body part. And the good thing is we can switch up like the cadence and the number of reps. So you'll be able to get like strength, endurance, or different adaptations. So chest, bench press, You can't not have a bench press, can you? Probably not the like if you wanted to get like a massive chest, I would bench press probably isn't the greatest, but in terms of like building strength, it's like so cool and it's just fun. Lads love a bench, don't they? Back would be I really like a pendlay row. So that's where basically if you so get a couple of dumbbells and then like hinge forward and you basically like pretty much well let's say like you put the dumbbells like on the floor so you're like in basically 90 degrees and then yeah you row and I like to do one where it's like you like I call it like an alternating pendlay row. So I go from like a wide grip and then I go to a neutral grip because the neutral is like a little bit more mid back and the wide grip is like the upper. So I know that's only really hitting your upper back, but all lads want wider shoulders and apparently all women want guys with what do they call it? The golden ratio or whatever, smaller hips to shoulder ratio. So yeah, always trying to look like a Dorito. Shoulders. So I feel like most people would say lateral raises to get that side delt. I don't really do them. That's why I've got rubbish shoulders. But if there's only one for shoulders, that's like I don't feel like it's a functional exercise. So I would want to be able to press above my head because that's like a more useful thing to have. But one that I do as well is again it's like an alternating thing. So I would would I do that one? It would be either where you have like the dumbbells in front of you in like they call like a rack position, and then press it up, and then come down, and then on the second one, like hold it out in front of you. I'm not a coach, so I don't know the term, but it's just like trying to get like that front delt, side delt bit of both going on. However, having said that, actually, I love just like the kettlebell strict press because like you end up in that rack position. If you're listening, I'm holding my hands into my chest here, and then as you like drive up, it's like got quite a wide like uh, movement pattern. Like so, I feel like it just gets like all around this back bit as well. So that's cool, and it just feels good. Like yeah, I enjoy that. So double kettlebell strict press, overhead strict press. Strict meaning you're not bending your legs or anything to give you momentum. Arms would be just bicep curls, I guess. Yeah, I might get bored with it, but yeah, I'd say yeah, just like alternating, having your like elbows tucked in at the front, and just like allowing that tension to be there like all the way around. Like, don't be doing the kind of the classic gym bros where you see people just like swinging and stuff. I did that for years, but what you're not getting like that bottom stretch, like the extended position, whatever. Quads. Quads, I would do. Quads are really important for me because of my knee injury. So if you have any, if you've got like a meniscus tear or whatever, I would recommend quads, or any knee injuries. So I would do the which Eastern country is it? Romanian, Bulgarian split squat with dumbbells. So one leg raised up on a bench, so you're balancing on one leg, and then it's just I feel like it's just less stressful on the body than like a front squat. I could do like a front squat, but that like targets more of like your core and I guess posterior chain. So, but I would want to isolate for me because I want to really target that quad. So it's going to be more quad dominant there because you're allowed to like you lean forward a bit more rather than it hitting your glute. So I would, and also in terms of like functional strength building, because there's nothing around like feet exercises here. So that's like really good for balance. So if you do it, certainly if you do it with like bare feet, like I'm like wobbling all over. So yeah, so that's good to get like your single leg balance, and you're going to get strength in your legs, and you will get a bit of glute and stuff as well. Hamstrings, probably just a regular Romanian deadlift. I wouldn't do a single leg one, only cause, and I know what I just said before, like it's good to have the single leg one because of the balance and stuff. But I feel like for me, I find it so difficult doing the single leg ones. You could say that I should use that as a reason to want to do it. However, I very rarely get DOMs off doing single leg ones. But if I do like a regular, then I can get DOMs because I can overload the muscle that little bit more. So I would go like regular Romanian deadlift. And also you're getting like some lats and like a bit of glute in there, I think. PTs, S&C coaches, let me know if you disagree. And core. Probably don't do enough core, so I don't have abs. I think probably you hear everyone bashing on about hanging lateral raises. The best for hitting your abs. I used to say core, but core abs. So probably do that. Like plank's cool and all them sort of like more functional ones, but you're not getting like that stretch in the muscle. So if you hadn't like the whole like popping abs thing, because I feel like at some point I would like popping abs. So, yeah, like, yeah. Okay, we're done. Thank you, Ben. Good question. I love that. Next up, Luke B. What is a fear you have that you've not spoken about publicly before? Nice one. I feel like I talk about more stuff. Oversharing, Jason. Fear. Give me a minute. Like maybe that that I'm not intelligent, and like there's a reason why I struggle with things because yeah, like you're not as smart as you think you are. Okay, no. Like, yeah, it's like it's your fault that you're not doing as good as you can be. What's the fear though? The fear is that insecurity is true and that I won't get the places that I want to get, that I won't achieve the things that I want to do because actually you're not good enough. You've never been good enough. That's why you can't read. Fucking hell. But it's weird because I'm saying it and I'm like, is that a fear? Like, because I do have confidence, in my own ability. I suppose sometimes I just feel like I'm winging it big time. So I'll go from like feeling like I can do anything and like I've just got this unstoppable mindset that I can achieve anything that I want to do. And then sometimes it'll just go the other way and I'll be like, yeah, but you're nearly 36 years old and you're not there yet. So what the fuck have you been doing all this time? Maybe you're just constantly going to be struggling and not getting to where you want to go and living a miserable life. Yeah. So that's a fear that I've not spoken about before. There we go. Moving swiftly on. Cheers, Luke. Gaz J sent a few, which I'm going to pick. Okay. After 50 episodes, what's the best lesson that you've learnt? 50 episodes, what's the best lesson you've learned? I would say maybe I don't know if you're looking for this actual answer. Like, I wonder if you're wondering if from an episode or the lesson you've learned from doing 50 episodes. But I think there's someone else has asked a similar one, so I'll ask this version of it. So I would say, and it's the lesson I felt like I knew right at the start, which is, but I've had to relearn it. It has to be done, like you have to be authentic and you have to do it to satisfy your own curiosity. That's it. And if anyone else enjoys it and comes along for the ride, then that's awesome. But it has to be the thing that's going to keep going, because if you start second guessing what people want, then it's going to make you resent the content that you put out, constantly second guessing yourself, and not doing it for the reason that you started. This is that, like, that's been a big whole like other thing. We might get into that if some of these other questions come through. But like, yeah, just stay true to, like, I would love it. I said to someone today, I would love it if I could create content on like social media and on the podcast and get no feedback. Like, just put it out there. Like, it goes out and then like it shuts and then I can't get any feedback. And two reasons: because there's like that need for validation, and the positive stuff's nice or whatever, but it's like, if you even getting positive feedback kind of makes you think, oh, okay, well, what about the other stuff? I got positive feedback for that, so what do you think about that one? So therefore I'm going to make more of the stuff that you deem positive, rather than doing the stuff that actually interests me. And in a space that is so busy with other podcasters, it's like I have to be authentically me and follow my own curiosity, because that's the one filter that will mean that it will be different. So like, yeah, be authentic, do it for me, see what happens, keep publishing. That's the lesson I've learned. So what would be the lesson from that? If I was in therapy, she would like ask me again, so what's the lesson? The lesson is stay true to your mission, action, stay true to yourself. Okay, something like that. Good question, thank you. Joey W. Tell me your most poignant moment. When or did any moment cause overwhelm and why? Is that 2 questions? Most poignant moment, overwhelm. Can poignancy be like overwhelmed too? I don't know. I'm just going to stick with poignant, Joey. So, most poignant moment. Probably. Well, there's 2 that are battling it out here, so I'll say both. It's the 2 Joeys, and there's a reel on my Instagram, so you can check this out. Or listen, I'll watch the episode. So there's the Joey Weber, the second episode, which didn't get that many views, by the way. And I believe it's better than the first one, even though the first one is episode 1. I'm proud of that. Episode 2. And when we're talking about loneliness, and there's like this beautiful moment where Joey explains like some ideas for dealing with loneliness, and he's like, it's not loneliness. You sitting there thinking I'm lonely, you're not objectively lonely in that moment. It's just a person sat there thinking I'm lonely, and then he says, it looks like it's so good, and then he goes like, cut. It's fucking awesome. And then I put some emotional music on it, and it's like, yeah, it's great. So I love that beautiful moment. Thank you for that, Joey, and thank you for the question. And or there's the other one which I'm like always sharing to my story, is the Joey Liu one. Liu. Liu. And when we were talking about my struggles with like this authenticity, selfishness dilemma. Am I a selfish person? What's the podcast about? What's my motivation? Da, 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 da. That was again my second conversation with Joey Liu. And then she was talking about learning how to listen to my inner voice. What happens when you start to trust your inner voice? What happens to that need for validation when you can trust your inner voice? You can then self-validate and then trust your own voice, and then you like send the other stuff back to its owner or whatever. Beautiful, and really helpful for me. So thank you to you both. Send you love. Yeah, that's that one. Will D says, what steps do you think you need to take to be able to reach a sub 60 high rocks, and do you think yourself that it's possible? I love this question. Sub 60 high rocks. So for those who maybe not know, so I do high rocks. My last race, I did a 1 hour 12, so that's 72 minutes. I'm aiming for 70 minutes in a couple of in March in Glasgow. Sub 60 would be like you're very close to getting like World Championship qualification. So it's a big ask. Sub 60. Do I think it's possible? I think I could do it if I took loads of drugs. No, yeah, that, but I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do that. If I ever did that, by the way, I would tell you. But I wouldn't mess about with that actually, because it can fuck around with your like sperm production, and our kids. So I would maybe once I've got like 2 or 3 kids in my 40s, and then I'd take a little bit of testosterone replacement or something. But yeah, I wouldn't be like doing anything else. So why am I talking about drugs? So do I think it's possible? Yes. And what would I do? So I actually do think it's possible. I would have to train more. I would have to sleep more. So I'd have to train. I would have to do double sessions, a couple of double sessions a week, which at the moment I don't have time for. I would have to. So if I could get 9 hours of sleep a night, a nap in the middle of the day, or like a nap after a training session or whatever, so that would allow me to get like maybe 2 or 3 more sessions in a week, because I train 6 days a week at the moment. So if I did like 2, 3 double sessions, that would be 9 sessions a week. So I'd need to do that. So yes, and I do believe basically I would need to get quite a lot stronger and a little bit faster. So I would do a 3-year plan. I might actually do this. I'd do a 3-year plan to get to that target goal. I would spend a lot of time. I wouldn't spend like too long doing actual hyroxes. I'd spend like 6 months of like off season, getting myself as strong as possible. I would, and then during those 6 months, I would, because that's my weakness, like is the strength side of it. So I would do a lot of strength sessions during that time, and I would focus on really quality running, so quality over quantity. So I would throw out. I would just do like maybe the 30 to 45 minute zone 2 jogs. I would do most of my zone 2 zone 2 work on like ergs, so rowers, skis, because basically I want to lose as little muscle mass as possible, but I want to keep that speed up. So yeah, loads of strength training, and then I would do like interval sessions. Probably shorter the better. So like again, like least catabolic, but more like explosive, building that power. So like, yeah, like I don't know, like 200-meter type, 200, 400 meters sprints, sessions like that. Lots of strength training. And then I would just keep building it up over like 3 years. And then I might even, yeah, I'm not a coach, but I am interested in this stuff. So yeah, so I do think it's possible. And I might talk to Matty about my plan. But yeah, I would need a lot more sleep so I could do more sessions. What about you, Will? I think you could do a sub 60. I hope you're having fun abroad. Okay, Joey L has sent me lots of questions. So I'll just start with the first one. Should anyone who has the idea to start a podcast just do it? Are there any prerequisites? Yeah, I think anyone should do it. Honestly, it's just if you were just to like have a conversation with your mates and film it on your phone or record it, I think is a really beautiful thing to do, because you just talking, like you think about things differently. You don't like, you're a bit more measured with your speech, and like what you want to say, a bit more precise, because there's like stakes play rather than doing than just chatting. And yeah, I think you should. It's like I'm just trying to think of like different avatars of people, of like, yeah, everyone should do it. I think it'd be awesome. Because everyone's so different. I'm thinking of like my friends and my family, like they could all like do one and find out more about themselves or find out what they're interested in and stuff. And if no one listens, who cares? It's an awesome thing to do, to have conversations, to have deep conversations as like a passion project, or even to do as a living. So yeah, They should do it. And are there any prerequisites? No. I think if you're doing one like how to make $1 million or whatever, then maybe you need to have made $1 million. But if you're just looking for like curiosity, expand your knowledge around certain things, I don't think so. Like, just be able to listen to someone. But I'm like a good example of this because I'm like one of the worst listeners in the world. So that's something I've worked on over years. Lots of meditation and lots of podcasting. But I still like talking about myself, don't I? So that's why we do these episodes, which will allow me to just go completely unfiltered. Yeah, thank you for that question. Okay, so Joy's done loads, so I'm going to do 2 of hers, and then I'll come back round. Who are you in episode 1? Who are you now? Sorry, who were you in episode 1? Who are you now? How are they the same? How are they different? Who was I in episode 1? Episode 1. Who were you? I think he was more lonely, seeking more answers. How are they the same? The same because I still sometimes get lonely, but I feel like I've got more community now. And how are they different? Oh, how are they different? They're different because, I feel like I've got community, and they're the same because I guess I'm still seeking some answers and something. Yeah, I think I answered that. Joey, you do the best questions. Okay, so I'm going to come back around to some of yours in a bit. Paul E. Enhanced games, gimmick or here to stay? I didn't know they were doing the enhanced games. So that's, for anyone who's not aware, I believe the enhanced games is like a project to have the Olympics, but with no drug testing. Gimmick or here to stay? I didn't know it was even here. Let me just check this out. Enhanced games. Welcome to the welcome. The future is enhanced. Join the movement. We are reinventing sports with science. The Declaration on Human Enhancement on December the 10th. Brian Johnson. He's the one who wants to live forever guy. There's a good Netflix documentary called Don't Die. Dave Asprey, he's a biohacker, and 50 of the world's leading performance scientists ratified the Declaration on Human Enhancement, a formal charter for the enhanced games scientific research. Oh, I thought enhanced games, gimmick or here to stay. I thought he was talking about. So is it competition? Control F, comp. Athlete safety. We're inventing sports. I guess so. Right, okay. What does GPC say? What are the enhanced games? Origin band format, enhanced traditional sport track and field. Okay, right. So yeah, so it is. They are planning on doing like track and field. Okay, honestly, don't know much about it. It's cool though, I guess. Like I thought it would just be like people taking steroids, but this is like enhanced, like all biohacky. So is it just people taking roids, or don't know. I think it's kind of cool, because at least then there's this whole thing with the Olympics, and it's corrupt and all that, and say that allegedly corrupt. There was that. What was that documentary? Icarus, fucking excellent documentary on Netflix. And that, yeah. So I suppose that would mean if they had enhanced games, then they could just have the regular ones, and maybe that would clean up the regular ones. So yeah. But thanks for that question. Interesting to find out what's going on there. Andy A. The infamous Andy A. After completing an event or achieving a goal that you've been working towards, how do you limit the negative effects of the dopamine drop? Good question. Still working on it. So essentially, what we're talking about here is like after I do a high rocks, or it could be someone doing a world record that we might know, and anything that's got that big old dopamine spike. How do you limit that negative effects of the dopamine drop? Because I did High Rocks Manchester recently, and I really struggled. Like all the stuff that I did to negate that, like I'll try to have a massage booked. On the Monday, so I've got something to look forward to, something to relax. I'll go to the sauna, but even then, it is hard. I think certainly if you live on your own, like me, you're just kind of on your own, feeling all this this chemical imbalance because your body's trying to get to this homeostasis thing because you've had the dopamine. Honestly, it's hard. Limiting the negative effects, I guess, would be just what would I do differently from I guess eat a little bit better can probably help. Um, so nutrient dense foods and veggies and stuff like that, because obviously it's tempting to just get a pizza in and stuff because you're tired. And lots of daytime, lots of sunlight. I did that as well last week, but I was so tired I couldn't even walking outside was just wiping me as well. So yeah, get loads. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, I'll let you know if I ever achieve it. But I guess see lots of people, get outside, do all the stuff that as they say, inverted commas, fills the cup up. Maybe have a day planned out. What I'm going to do, maybe take some time off work if you can afford to do that. Have a cute day where right, I'm going to go to the cinema. I'm going to whatever it may be. I'm going to plan to see this person. Something like that. But yeah, not easy, as we're all aware, those of us that do sporting stuff. Right, I'm going to have a quick break because it's I need a wee. I'll be back in 1 second. Right, I'm back. Just having a quick tea top up. Okay. I feel like these are all serious questions. We've not got none about films or anything. Okay. But I love it. I did ask for it. I did say ask whatever. So, Heather P says, you've mentioned being diagnosed with dyslexia at 19 and that you only truly began to grow intellectually in your 30s. What changes to your school education do you think would have helped you thrive earlier? Good question. It's really hard. So yeah, because like I enjoyed school. I just felt thick all the time. And I was like classic, distracted, um, having fun, being silly. But like, what did you thrive earlier? I think like okay, so thrive earlier. What does that mean? So yes, like suggest like okay, I guess I'm intellectually thriving in my 30s. I would say that's a fair assessment. Um, and that's been because of like this like podcasts and audiobooks and belief in myself and being able to learn like, via audio and understanding myself better and all that sort of stuff. So how could I have had more of that in my childhood? I think if I had teachers who were like entrepreneurs, like people who have done shit, I heard this thing once, and it was like, and this is no disrespect to teachers, but they said, and I've had some great teachers and like wonderful people and stuff like that. So, but like they said, they said like think about all the people who you knew who your mates that went to uni and ended up being teachers, and then you go like I like the wisest people or whatever, and it's like there's this almost like being a teacher. It sounds really harsh. Um, like the teachers are kind of I don't know. I feel like it's this is disrespectful. So I don't want to disrespect the teaching profession. That's not fair. But I guess like for instance, right, grow set, Jason. Right. So if you're teaching business, you didn't become a businessman because you wouldn't be teaching, or maybe like sometimes they build these empires and then they go and do lectures at universities. So there is that, but like, I guess like you just want more people who are like got that like creativeness out here, that self belief. I think that's the thing I needed. Belief, that belief that I've got now that you can do anything that you want. I know that sounds like a little bit cliched, and like there's been pushback over like culturally the last few years around that, where it's like we were told that we could do anything that we want, and actually that's not the truth. And it's like, well, maybe I suppose for some people, maybe you're never going to be able to get out of your mum's basement. I don't know, but it's like if you don't believe in it, then it will never happen. So I think like instilling that belief, like you don't need to be like massively intelligent to actually do stuff in the world. You just need an idea and you need to be able to execute on the right thing and apply the right amount of leverage to the right thing. That's all you need. So someone who would allow like so yeah, like see what your strengths were and then sorry, the education sector as a whole, like rather than going down like the whole do a little bit of everything so that you can slot into all these different industries. That's going away. Like the post industrialized world that we're in is changing rapidly. We've got AI and all this stuff. So the only thing we're going to be able to do. I'm talking about the future now, so it's a little bit stupid, but like yeah, like just like I think you need to be like kind of good at lots of things, which is a contradiction in itself. But like, find see, I don't put me in charge of the fucking world. Don't put me in charge of schools because I don't know what to do. But like, yeah, just find that thing. Like, what's that thing that kid's showing? Like, is it like? Because I remember. Okay, so someone said to me once, it was like, I was like, I have all these ideas. I remember saying this. I have all these ideas and like and these things I want to do. And someone said, "Oh yeah, like it's nice to have ideas. Everyone has ideas, but like you don't do anything with them or something like that." And that was like a really negative thing to learn. So it would be just kind of that you like like you've got this little idea. Oh, what's that thing? Okay, right. So you're thinking that you'd like to do children's books for this subset of people or whatever. Oh, that's interesting. How would we do that? Okay, well, what we would need to do is to do this, right? Okay, and then we get them printed. Okay, how could we? Do you know what I mean? So like, just having that like freedom of just allowing people to be able to do shit. So yeah, like more creativity and more like belief instilled, and just like that, like just doing shit, like helping them do shit very early on, and like supporting them through it. I think would be awesome. So yeah, I probably answered that really badly. Sorry. Thanks, Heather. Okay. Fucking hell. Phil A. If you could send a message back in time to the 16-year-old version of yourself, but were limited to 100 letters / characters in total, what would you send? Good question. So I'm just going to do a word count. So this question is 155 characters. So it needs to be like the 60% length of that. Tools, word count. So it's like a line, basically. If I could send a message back in time to the 16-year version. Okay, 16. 16, what do I need to hear? I'll say out loud what I'm saying. So I've put you're smarter than you know. Beware of your ego. Something about alcohol. Never drink alone. But I don't know. I feel like that was always going to happen. You're smarter than you know. Beware of your ego. Never drink alone. What did I need to hear? Like something to do with inner voice. Learn to trust. Learn to trust your inner voice, which is like confidence. Because if you can trust your inner voice, then you will be confident. I think. How many characters is that? Huh. Literally 100. Okay, so I'm saying to my 16-year-old self, you're smarter than you know. So I'm like geeing him up. Beware of your ego, because like that kind of ruined my music career. Never drink alone, because that gave me a alcoholism. And learn to trust your inner voice. Learn to trust your inner voice. Yeah. Okay. Jamie S says, what's the one habit you've adopted recently that's had the biggest positive impact on your life? I did actually mention that at the start, which is don't turn on your phone until you've done the most important task of the day. Thanks, Jamie. Dean B says, what's one mistake you've made in your career that taught you the most? What's one mistake in your career? Or what did I learn from? Right, okay. That taught you mistake, career. Oof. Taught you the most. Never go into a business which is reliant upon physical footfall and needs stock inventory and capital to operate. That's it. Thanks, Dean. Ross D says, if you had to start all over again with nothing to your name, no money, no followers, no home, what would you do? Good question. Start all over again. Okay, so I'm not in my house, so I'm just like on a bench. Am I homeless? Right, what would I do? Fuck. Oh, what would I do? It's kind of like exciting though, that thought, like of just starting again. So I would get to a point where I want to be able to create content. So I know I would probably travel. So I'd need to get a van and some podcasting equipment, and I'd travel around the globe on my van, interviewing people and playing music or something. But I would need to get some money in the first place to get that. So I would either somehow like make a deal with someone who had a van. But I would need money. Huh. I guess I would just like freelance for a bit. What would I do? It's a fucking really good. Oh, would I like create a course? Create a course on how to lose all your money and followers. Yeah, I don't know. Like, or would I just like go and work cleaning toilets or something, save up a load of money, live in somewhere? Fucking hell, it's really hard. Where would I go and live? One of my parents, I guess, and then I would. I would marketing consultancy. And I would charge a lot of money for it. Oh man, that's really hard. But I feel like if I could somehow like get to Europe and be like meeting people, recording podcasts, but I would just need enough money to live. So I'd just travel around, like get a job in a bar or something, something like that, and I'd record myself doing it and yeah, kind of scary, like exciting but scary. But yeah, I would definitely be some type of content creation. Thank you, Ross. Megan L says, what's the biggest mental hurdle you've overcome and how did you get through it? Alcohol. Very toxic relationship with alcohol. How did I get through it? I started doing ice baths. Every time I fancied a drink, I would get into a cold bath, and then that would go. And there was lots of other things that I did as well, but that was kind of probably the biggest thing. And then once I got rid of that kind of urge, then everything got loads easier. Thank you for that question. Okay. Mark L. What are your coping strategies, both mental and physical, with suffering exhaustion and fatigue when you're absolutely cream crackered, knackered, and on your chin straps in both a training environment and in an actual high rocks competition? Coping strategies. Exhaustion. Coping strategies. I think so. I used to like have like this like mental playlist where I'd play back almost like a Rocky highlights in my head of like all the training that I've done to get to this point. And that was always really helpful. If I started feeling like I was really struggling, I'd think about that and just think about like all the hours that I've done doing all this running and whatever else. So like that would usually give me a lift. Um, or I would say like, what would this be like if it was easy? So while I'm running, while I'm pushing the sled, whatever, like what would this feel like if it was easy? And then it just like usually just kind of like it just like your shoulders come back a bit, you just smile. But honestly, I don't like I'm less in my head more than ever. And like if I'm like if I'm absolutely knackered, certainly in a competition, there's not much you can do. I just keep going. um and like a big part of my high rocks has been trying to not get to that point because it is tiring, but it's like there's a certain point where if you get to a certain point we've really pushed it too hard, you've fucked your high rocks anyways. So it's kind of like I don't know, just constant time in being in that zone will help you get better, I guess. But also just like being totally present with the exercise or activity. And I heard Ross Edgerly talking about this. So like um rather than like being in your head and stuff, if you get to that moment, just like let's say you're running, like how can you be like fully present with what you are doing? So how's my form? Like how does the ground feel beneath my feet? What's my like feet doing? Am I leaning forward too much? Am I like do you know what I mean? Like just focusing on the actual movement. Um or if you're on, let's say you're on a bike and you feel that burning, like that lactic build up in like your quads, and it's like getting curious with it. What is that feeling? What am I at? What is that? Cause you kind of like, oh, it's hurting or whatever, but what is it? What is the feeling? What is the feeling of being absolutely knackered, cream crackered? What does it feel like? Is it burn? Is it hot? Is it cold? Like, be curious with what it is and just be like, oh, like, and this like something you get through meditation as well, being able to be like more observant and take like this wider view of things. But like once you get like really curious with it, it kind of like dissipates. So like let's say if you're on the bike and you've got like this like a lactic building up and it's like, what is that? What actually is it? What is pain? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then once you get curious with it, it kind of I don't know, it just lessens that kind of feeling. Um so yeah, I hope that's helpful. Sorry, it was probably a little bit abstract at points. Thank you for the question. Liam W says, "Do you think you'll do another 50 episodes? If so, will it be on a certain theme?" Yeah, I will definitely do another 50. Will it be on a certain theme? Not necessarily. I will just continue to follow my curiosity. I will be doing more stuff around training in high rocks, so that'll be more of a regular thing. But I'm going to be releasing them on like different days. So my plan is to have regular episodes on a Monday on whatever it may be. Health, wealth, self is something I keep saying. And then I'm probably have like high rocks and training ones like on like maybe a Wednesday or a Thursday and release them ones like every 2 weeks or something. Thank you for the question. And Phoebe E says, what was your favorite success moment in 2024? 2024. Feels like a long time ago, but I feel like High Rocks Manchester in 2024. I know it's like sportsy, but like that felt like a really, like I'd stepped up a lot and did quite a good time. So that was cool. Any other ones that aren't like sporty? Successful moment. No, I don't think there's anything like standing out as like a one particular thing. Like certain like podcast episodes were cool, but it's just like I feel like it's just been a general overall improvement across the board. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, that's probably not a very good answer. Thank you for the question. And what time are we on? Right, there's one more here, but I'm gonna run that. Looks like a good question to end on. Right, so I'm gonna leave that one to the end, but I'm gonna go back up and look at some of these other ones. Okay, so back to Ruche L. Also, what books or advice made the most difference to your mindset when it comes to challenges you faced? Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Fantastic book. Such a good book. So if you're going through anything difficult, Obstacle is the Way. And basically the premise is it's like a stoicism book, and it's like the thing that you're struggling with, this is the way. That is the path. That is the thing that you need to get through, and that will probably the thing that will make you come out of this better, that will even benefit your life or whatever. Obstacle is the Way. Awesome book. David B, what advice would you give to someone looking to give up alcohol? Fucking hell. Depends. So there are two like offshoots of this. I'm not a psychotherapist, but whatever. So there is like the psychology of it, like why you actually drink in the first place, and then there is the sorry, yeah, there's basically like there's like looking at the core issue. Why is it that you actually drink in the first place? So like therapy, I guess. And then there is the proactive, which would be more like something like cognitive behavioral therapy sort of approach, which is like what are the things that I need to do to actually put in place to stop me doing that, to get better habits and stuff like that. So the habit side, you could read or listen to Atomic Habits by James Clear. Loads of stuff around habit building and breaking and quitting in there. So you've got like the practical side of it of like, all right, okay, I need to like stop hanging around with that person or not have wine in the house or whatever. But also, you probably need to look at both sides of it. So we've got like the practical stuff on top to like get you some quick wins, and then you have like, why do you actually drink? And that's like the big question. So it may be, so go to a licensed therapist I would recommend BetterHelp. They're very good. Do some psychotherapy, which is where they really get into like the deep shit. Like if you went through NHS, that'd be fine. I don't believe they do psychotherapy. It's mainly CBT. But obviously, if you can't afford it, then CBT better than none. Obviously, you could go to AA if you want, and that's free. But so you just want to find out like why it is that you're drinking, and like once you find that root cause, it may be like just finding that root cause. It might be able to like pull it out with a pair of pliers, and then it might heal up, like this metaphor, heal up, and then you might be okay, and then you might be able to have a little bit of a drink. I mean, you're saying give up alcohol, but yeah, you might be able to might even be able to have a drink at some point in the future. But fix that. Find the reason why. That'll get messy. That'll fucking break your heart. So do something that like that maybe, and then do something like some of these practical things. So all the like self-helpy stuff. Start journaling. Get your morning sunlight. Do ice baths. Do what I did. Like if you've got a craving, then so supplant the habit with something else. So if you have like a craving, then go for an ice bath. Or like a Friday night, if you get the trigger to like go drinking. Like Friday nights, like normally when you go out, I used to get this like not that long ago. Friday night would be this like weird feeling in my stomach because it's just so ingrained. It was like Friday night would be like you'd go out or you'd go and get a bottle of wine from the shop and like have a takeaway or something like that. So if you have like that trigger, you just need to find something else that you do. So actually for me, on Friday nights, that's when I joined Nuffield in Barrow, basically going to the sauna. So I started going to the sauna. So Friday night was like sauna night, and then I've replaced the thing and going and talking to other sad people who don't go out drinking. Stop that negative self-talk, Jason. I'm not sad. I actually don't believe that. So that's funny though. Like you got to watch that stuff, by the way. Like that's a little bit that creeps in from time to time. But actually, I don't believe that anymore. Like that is an old belief that is still like lingering around. Like, oh, you're a sad bastard because you don't go out or whatever. Fuck that. I do go out every now and then. I have loads of fun, but I don't drink. So yeah. So yeah, but good luck with that, and I hope you're okay, and I hope you're looking to do it from a positive like place, and it's not like ruining. I mean, I'm not suggesting that. Yeah. Anyhow, but if you need help with that or whatever, feel free to reach out, or whoever. I hope it helps whoever you have in mind. Lindsay G. What do you think is the most important skill to have in 2025 and beyond? This is good. So, terrifying prospect of like what's going to be happening in the next 10 to 20, well, 5 to 10 years. Like, I'm really positive. Like, I'm excited about it, but it is also terrifying. So it would be learn how to use AI at a high level. Like you don't have to be like top 5%. Be in the top 5% of people knowing how to use AI. And that might just look like being good at prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is just a snazzy word for prompting, like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever it is. So when you're like asking a question, basically. So and then that goes a little bit further. So like you can do like custom GPTs, and then you would like give it like some like rules and stuff that it follows to get the most out of your AI. So yeah, prompt engineering, just get better at being the top 5% of that. I heard someone say the other day, if you don't use the AI, the AI will use you, something like that. I don't really know what. No, I do know what that means, but for some reason it sounded a bit random then. So AI, I know you've put skill, but I'm going to put 2 in here. AI content creation. AI, AI and content. Learn how to be in the top 5% AI, and learn how to create content. That's it. And I think you'll be all right, because like just by creating content. So creating content could be writing blogs, sending emails, doing YouTube videos, doing reels, TikToks, shorts, all that sort of thing. Just doing that, like forcing yourself to do that, will help you get better at thinking about the world and how thinking about your own thoughts and crafting your own kind of beliefs around the world and skills and stuff. And it will help you get better at like researching topics and find out about stuff, and then to be able to then represent that to people then is going to make you have a advantage over everyone else. And everyone's going to be looking for authentic people online, because we're going to have all this AI stuff, and there's going to be AI videos and stuff, and people want to be able to know that there's an actual person at the end of that video. So if you can be one of those people, I think that you'll have an edge. Thank you for the question. Kelly M says, biggest challenge of the podcast. Biggest challenge of the podcast. Unsolicited feedback. That's it. So yeah, so if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say or ask me, would you like some constructive feedback on the podcast? And I might say, actually, yeah, that would be really helpful. Or more than likely, I'll go, honestly, mate, I'm not really that bothered. I appreciate your thoughts, but maybe it's the end of the year when I'm doing my review, or in a few months' time, could I contact you and get some more information about this? So yeah, that might change, but at the moment, no thanks. It's hard enough just publishing. I'm gonna start to wrap up because I'm getting tired and I feel like I'm blabbing a little bit. Let's have a look. Joey L, let's look at some more of these questions. What moment made you feel like you were doing exactly what you are meant to do? I would say it would have been probably one of the early conversations, because yeah, probably my podcast recording with Andy Allen. Yeah, I just loved it. It was great. 4-hour conversation, sat across this little table here. Yeah, I loved it, and it was just getting like mega detailed on stuff that I'd always been kind of curious about with Andy, because we weren't that close at the time. And then in a really beautiful way, we've ended up coming really close since that episode. And Andy will be back on the podcast again soon to talk about breaking the world record for most weight lifted via kettlebell clean and press within 60 minutes. So yeah, Andy's a beast, and I'm looking forward to having that discussion with him soon. Let's have a look at another one from Joey. What's the biggest shift in yourself since last year? What catalyzed and nurtured that shift? Probably like my relationship is like how I see my value to others, or like how can I put this? I thought for a long time that I would only get invited to social occasions. I've not spoken about this before. I would think for a long time that I only got invited to social occasions because people felt bad for me because I was lonely. Yeah, that sounds like really sad now. And I no longer believe that to be true. So I think people invite me to social occasions because I'm funny as fuck and I'm a good laugh, and I will talk to you extreme detail about your childhood trauma or whatever, or some quirky kind of thing that I'm interested in at the time, and I might be a little bit silly, and yeah, I'm fun to be around most of the time. So, and what catalyzed and nurtured that shift was therapy. So yeah, that was awesome. This is another one from Joey. There's loads here, so I'm just going to go through a few. Are all the hard things you do worth it? How do you evaluate? So, first off, I'm trying to make the hard things be less hard. So, just trying to be a little bit more unfiltered. Yeah, focusing on like the 80-20 rule. Just creating content. I'm not like getting like super fussy about how it's packaged and stuff anymore at the moment. That might change, but for the moment, and like gym and training and stuff, I don't really see it as hard things anymore. It's just what I do. So, but I suppose like this is Sunday evening, and then I'm working on the podcast, and after this, because this is going out tomorrow, after this I'll do a little bit of editing and stuff. So there's work to do, and I could be watching Lord of the Rings downstairs and eating food, but I'm not. So are they worth it? How do you evaluate it? I think so. Like the podcast has given me such an like so many lessons and such a I don't know, just like a different thing to offer like people, like I don't know how they view me, or yeah, I feel like, and it's just I do enjoy it. Like I know it's hard, like I do find like the editing and stuff like hard work, but I do love the conversations, and I believe it is worth it. How do you evaluate? I guess. Oh, it's a hard question. I guess I just when I'm doing my 6-week reviews and stuff, I evaluate. And is this part of the journey? Is this part of the goal? Yeah, it is. Therefore, we keep going. I think that's it. Okay, let's have a look. Which other ones we got here? I might start to close now. I'll do one more from Joey, and then I'll do this last one that I saw. What's the hardest thing about goal setting in public? So she actually sent this to me when I was publishing a lot of this stuff around goal setting, and I've stopped doing it now. Not because I'm bothered about people knowing, but because I just want less distractions. So, the hardest thing probably was just like posting it all the time on my story and stuff. Like that just felt like I always felt a bit like, does anyone really care? But I was trying to I didn't think anyone cared. I wasn't bothered about that, but I was using it as motivation to like get me to do the things. So yeah. So I guess it's a bit of a weird question because I'm not so much doing it anymore, but also yeah, just feeling like the feeling that no one gives a shit. So why would I do it? I guess is the hardest thing about goal setting in public. And I suppose yeah, that's it. So yeah, kind of half answered that one. Oh, hang on, there's a few more here. One more from Megan L. You mentioned that you're wanting to go back to therapy at some point this year. What would you be asking for help with specifically? Uh, um, what would I be asking for help with? I think it would probably be. I'd probably be just looking for like stuff that I'm not spotting. So, like, I remember the last time I went to therapy, there wasn't. I was just kind of like, oh, like I just wanted to like talk and just see if they spotted anything, and so it's kind of similar, but maybe no. I'll tell you what. Tell you what I would use. It would like tie into this like selfishness thing. So I feel like since I've kind of changed my approach in the last few years from being, I would say, much more kind of, I don't know if I would say sensitive, but like I was much less kind of like driven in like a masculine way, if that makes sense. I was just a bit more like, I was like vegan, I was a bit hippie and a bit less direct, I guess. I was a bit of a people pleaser, and because of that, I was very aware of others' feelings, and I feel like I was very good at, um, checking in on people and wanting to like offer something to people, and I was very very like I used to think about other people's feelings a lot. Okay, we'll get into it now. We'll get into it. So I used to think about other people's feelings a lot, and as I've moved into this more like goal setting, trying to achieve things, fed up with how my life is, wanting to get shit done, working pretty hard, 6 to 6.5 days a week. The one side effect to that I feel like is maybe I don't have enough time for people anymore. And so because I don't have that time on my hands, I'm not like reaching out to people as much as I used to. I'm not getting back to people. I'm just busier. So because I'm busier, I'm like, am I a bad person because of that? Am I like a worse friend? Does that make me a bad person? But it's like But back then, I was more dependent on other people, if that makes sense. Like, and I was more depressed, and so I've had to like find like things to fill my life, whether it be High Rocks podcasting, business stuff, to to like fill that void, just to like keep me like occupied. But I don't have much space for anyone. So but then sometimes I feel like am I a less of a good person because I'm not thinking about others as much as I used to be. But yeah, so but it's a difficult one because I'm like, it's my life, and I'm like, if the people that I'm thinking about like might be thinking that, then surely if they love me, they will want what's best for me and support me in my dreams and my goals, and therefore will give me like a bit of grace to let me crack on with this. And like, I feel like I just want to might have a few years of just like grafting hard and doing this stuff, and then maybe I'll have a bit more time um after that. But I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? Because life is short and people aren't going to be around forever. So yeah. Oh, fucking hell, that felt vulnerable. um Thank you for that question, Megan. Okay. Last one. Last one, because I thought this one looked like a good one, from Fiona B. She says, what legacy do you want to leave behind? Legacy. I think I want to get to the point where like, and this maybe like maps over to this like selfishness thing, where I just want to be able to get to a point where I understand myself that much better and are in a place where I can offer more support because I have, whether it more time or resources or whatever, and then be able to help other people with it. So I want to leave a legacy of like positive, like lessons and like a legacy for like my family, like, you know, a good financial situation um for them to have like a good life, my kids to have a nice life, and um yeah, just legacy. Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, just have like left behind like a body of work which, you know, has been able to help people and me along the way. I don't know. I feel like because I know I'm saying that my motivation is for the podcast to find stuff that helps my curiosity. But I feel like if I go down that route, like I will help other people. Um, like I heard Alain de Botton talking about this recently, and School of Life YouTube channel, and like huge success in like self-help and stuff. And he basically said that's all he was doing, was trying to like find out for himself and then leaving something behind. So I think that would be it. But it needs to be just wholly positive for the world and the whatever community I have around me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for the question. Thank you, everyone, for sending those through. And yeah, I'm really happy to have got to this like 50 episode milestone. I think this will be 52. And yeah, a lot of conversations, and I feel like this year, like in terms of the podcasting, hasn't really got going yet. I've not actually done that many interviews into because some of them were recording December and stuff. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Need to book more guests. Actually, I don't have that many guests booked, but lo and behold, worry not. I will definitely get some people on. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we get on there. And that's it. And then please, do as a subscribe, all that stuff. If you're not, it really does help. And maybe leave a comment or something. Let me know what you thought of the episode. And thank you for listening and for all of your support. I appreciate you very much. And I hope you're having a great start to 2025. I know it's February now, but and then, yeah, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.